Good day buddies, hope you're all doing well out there. For today's video, we'll be featuring my 5 years old pet ant colony. As I noticed something interesting with them, or this messy part here, where we always address as their dining area before, as it's where they feed their young, or the ant larvas. I always thought this was just a pile of food on their reservoir, but upon looking closely, aren't they look like a fungus too? Are my ants actually growing a fungus farm, as they actively tend or maintain this fungus-like looking pillar? Are these ants farming fungus to sustain the colony? I wanna find out if that's what they really do here, on what we're calling their dining area all this time. Too bad this is the best view that we can get to the pillar, so I decided to make and move them today to a new ant farm that has 3-dimensional views available for a better observation on our side, as I might be wrong about this species all along. Anyway, this colony comes from this ant farm. The channel OGs might remember that we divided this colony into 2 more than a year ago. One of them is moved to our coolest ant farm, doing better than ever on the setup. While the other half is moved to this vertical ant farm. Which we can see them having this messy areas again. We cannot really observe it from here as the mess goes to the front glass first. Vertical nest isn't really suited for this species, I believe, as they'll really messed it up all the time. So we moved them into this flat circular ant farms eventually. They're currently occupying 2 of these type of DIY ant farm. We'll only keep and move this one, as the other half will be sent to Ant Lover, as a thank you gift for sending us an ant farm and a colony recently, and all the other ones he sent in the past. Before we continue, let me appreciate the most awesome guys on our channel. Jeffrey Miles, Sean, The Hunter Chick, Stefan, Thomas, Future Bird, West Virginia Ant Keeper, Kazan Jenkins, Zombie Zealot, Riley Edits, Ransom, and Ant Nation. Thank you so much for supporting our future project, which is the Members Terrarium, and for making every episodes possible. And also, a huge shout out to our community top engagers, for the like, comments, and for sharing our videos. Let me also say welcome back buddies. And for those new to the channel, you're also welcome to D Colony. We still have remaining acrylic strips here from the previous builds, so we're using them on making our ant's new home. The build itself will be similar to our DIY smallest ant farm build, so you can check it out in the description for a more detailed and step-by-step guide, as here we'll be focusing on the design, as we're gonna try to have a front, back, and top view of the nest. Anyway, For the parts that skin and need holes to be aligned nicely, we can just drill them together at once. Like front and back covers. Except for the entrance. This sheet is for the hydration, and we drill 2 holes into it. Then cut the space in between, to create an oval shape like this. Then I just grind the edges a bit. Anyway, we got materials for a bigger and smaller size at the back, as I decided to make 3 of them with different approach. To determine the easiest way that we can share with you buddies. Next step is mesh fitting. We'll just push the mesh down by force to the hole, so it'd take the shape of it. This is done easier if you've got a thing to use in pushing, with something similar shape and size of the hole. Then we just need to cut it with allowance, based on how thick the base to be. So if we put it on place, it'll elevate like this. This way the mesh and the base floor will be nicely leveled. And we just fix the edges with super glue. Time to assemble the frame. Using extra acrylic sheets on both sides, so the edges would align nicely. Then the sheet with mesh near the bottom. Using this tiny piece of glass to make a uniform space, in between from left to right. Since this build is similar to our smallest ant farm, we're gonna need some Chicago screws again to hold the covers together. The only bad thing in using them is they take a space in the corners, as we want to hide them as much as possible. Nice fit, and no gaps in between that might use by the ants to exit or escape. We also drilled holes to the sides for the hydration straws. For the long one, I glued a piece of glass on the middle to support it and avoid bending or unnecessary movements. Anyway, for this ant farm we can use plaster in filling the hydration, like we've shown on the previous similar build. But we can also use the typical sponge here, or sanded grout itself as well, like what we did here on the long one. Just make sure to wipe the edges clean so the cover could lay flat and nice. We'll probably use sponge on the small one. Anyway, this was too big, so we'll use the medium one for the sample build. Here we'll construct the front view of the nest with the help of this mold. To make our life easier. They come in a variety of shape and sizes, and on how to make this molds, you can check this vid on the description. Of course you could also manually mold or shape the sand chambers manually buddies if you want to, it's just easier this way. We'll apply sanded grout here on the front base, as it will be difficult to send them here later from the top. Then set the base layer of the sanded grout, just same level with the sand chambers or a bit lower. On the next step we can directly use tubings to make the top and back view possible, and just remove them after the whole nest hardens. Just make sure to use silicone tubings, as they're really flexible and easy to remove from a hardened concrete. Silicone tubings are less transparent compared to vinyl tubings, but they're really handy in working DIYs, if you do use them directly. Make sure the length can reach the back to create the back view. And position it to kiss the top glass, to make the top view possible. We didn't use them directly as I like the sandy texture on the concrete as always. So we just use the tubing to mold the moist sand needed to create the tunnels. And on the last one here, we didn't make it all the way to the top, as we're gonna be sending this tubing entrance with sand here later, after we filled the remaining free space with sanded grout. Put the covers, and tighten the screws. Just push the tubing as planned. Then let it dry for 48 hours. Time to open this 3, and remove the sand inside to see the results. We'll put the screws back, as we'll use them to gently twist and push the bolts. So we could easily grab it with this long nose pliers, with the gentle twist-pull pattern. After removing the sand, and rinse it with water off cam. Here they are. We'll be using the medium one to our colony, as I believe it's the right home for their size. And here it is after we let it dry for several days. The back looks like a train cart with those windows. Anyway, we'll now put the covers, then move the colony. We injected only 5 milliliters of water, not much as our colony don't need moisture that much. The said amount though got soaked up by the plaster quickly. Anyway, we also made them an outworld, using our leftover grout from the nest build to make the flooring. I'll keep this colony without escape prevention barrier buddies, so we got a close top and meshed vents, and a quick opening for feeding and cleaning. I always wanted to try keeping a barrier-less colony. The ants can climb glass, but they are so slow and docile buddies, so I think I can manage, as we can even pet this ant species literally. We made a short vid about that available on the channel. We'll connect the new nest with this elbow that we've prepared. Then connected their current nest. As I've said, these ants are very slow, so they might take time to move. But no worries, as an ant keeper we're ready to play the so-called waiting game. And because of that slowness, it seems like they're not excited to the newfound place at all. But believe it or not buddies, they are excited at this rate. I'm used to how they move, and this is actually look excited or faster movements than usual. Anyway, let's feed them, so you could witness the slowest ant swarm ever. Help you don't get bored, and think this was slowed down. I promise this is their actual swarm speed, no edit. Almost all swarm of them we've uploaded so far is in time-lapse, not even normal time-lapse says on top of it. We got them even faster by times 20, or 50 just to make it interesting. Look at this two girls' teamwork to cut the antennae. Before you all get bored, let's put it on 20 times speed, which still looks like the normal speed of most ants. Anyway, let's give them a temporary drinking pad, using a wet cotton ball. As their water feed is still on the other half of the colony, we just need to keep this cotton moist and just replace it once a week or till it gets dirty. I always use this method whenever I'm still lazy, to wash the pile of used and dirty water feeders. After almost an hour, a few ants finally discovered the entrance to the new nest. This species isn't actually that hard to move, buddies, it's just that they're so slow. So it might take a few weeks the least, and I'll surely do an update once they've completed the move, so stay tuned. I just hope you have learned something from this video, guys. Be a genie for the first time, by granting my wish and tapping the like and share button, that would help a lot. This is D Colony, saying goodbye for now, but hoping to see you on my next videos.